Through Weight Loss by Hers, you can give yourself something to be excited about in 2025. You can spend the new year in control of your weight by losing up to an average of 9 pounds in your first month. This is based on data that real Hers customers have reported based on their personalized compounded GLP-1 treatment plans.
Hers is transforming women's healthcare by providing access to affordable weight loss treatment plans delivered straight to your door, if prescribed.
After submitting an online intake form, a licensed medical provider will determine what plan is best for you. And if prescribed, your program includes medication, ongoing care, and online support, all at one low cost.
Start your initial free online visit today at forhers.com/crappens.
That's forhers.com/crappens for your personalized weight loss treatment options.
Forhers.com/crappens.
Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. Actual price depends on product and plan purchased.
Going the extra mile to hit your goals? Let Kodiak help you hit the ground running. Discover protein-packed flapjacks, oatmeal, granola bars, and more. Kodiak's got the easy whole grain options that help you go the distance. Get 20% off now through March 31st on KodiakCakes.com/Kodiak Breakfast and use code Kodiak Breakfast 20.
DC, are you ready to start 2025 with incredible live entertainment at Capital One Arena? On February 22nd, comedy takes center stage with the hilarious Joe Coy. Then, on March 17th, feel the energy as Disturbed gets down with the sickness. On March 26th, it's all about the legendary Mary J. Blige bringing soul and power to the stage. And don't miss pop sensation Kylie Minogue on April 8th. Tickets are going fast. Secure yours now at CapitalOneArena.com.
Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Watch what crappens. Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens?
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is part 2 of a 2-part recap. If you're wondering where part 1 was, well, go check in the feed and be sure to subscribe.
Oh, yeah, so they go to a tchotchke place and they're shit-faced at this point, which is really funny because someone goes, "Where are we?" And Heather's like, "The market." Have to explain it to each other. So then they go get wacky gifts. One says, "I've got a big dick" or something, and there's like a big dick under it. And Heather's like, "I'm going to do this. This is hilarious. This is the one thing I'm going to pass down to my children's children."
I'm just gonna put a little bonnet on it for Pioneer Day. So Lisa's like, "Guys, we have an amazing dinner, so let's go back to Colorado." So they go back, and Bronwyn is she's in glam, and then Angie and Mary have this really nice little scene where Angie helps Mary with her hair, and it's comforting and warm. And Angie tells us, that life is like, Mary is holding on to something right now, and she hasn't shared it with anyone else, and she really wants to support it for her, and it's really important. And I'm so nervous, Ronnie, because the way the episode began, they said previously, and we see a clip of Mary saying, "I'm only telling you," and Angie saying, it will not leave here. And then next week we see the two of them crying and Mary saying, like, "You betrayed me." And I'm like, "Oh no, Angie, don't fuck this up. You guys have such a sweet relationship." I'm so nervous and sad for it already.
Yeah, not looking good. So then Angie goes to Heather's and Meredith goes over there. So Meredith is like, "So, well, I'm getting ready, but let me ask you a question. Have you heard me in my room?" She's like, "Well, I did hear a slight knocking sound, but I figured it was just your head hitting the headboard as you were talking to somebody on the phone." "Well, okay, but still, I haven't heard you. I haven't heard anybody on the adjoining rooms. And now that I know that this girl's been recording us on her iPhone, do you think she left something in my room?" Dun, dun, dun. No, Brittany's way too stupid for that.
Yeah, she is way, way too stupid, because Meredith is basically like, she's like, because the other night I did have a coughing attack, which I think is what I presume she may have thought was constituted me throwing up, And so then they decide to go into her room. because they're going to see if there's a recording device. So this is like becomes a detective thing. They go into Meredith's room, and her makeup artist, Fernando, there. She's like, hi, Fernando. Okay, Fernando, as a witness to the crime, where was Meredith when she was throwing up with her eating disorder? Okay, that's I understand it was a joke. It was a little too close of her comfort, Heather.
Okay, where were you on the phone with Seth? So she's like, I was here. And so, Heather's making a big joke out of this, but Meredith is taking it very seriously. Heather's like, is it under this lamp? No. Is it inside this lamp? No. Is it in the towels? No.
Wait a second. I think I found the device. Where is it? Hold on. It's behind your ear. Oh my God. She took a hearing device. She took a listening device and stole it from behind my head. That's crazy.
So now she's using my disability against me.
Hold on. Wait a second. Oh my God. Meredith, look. I got your nose. Well, that is awful. I can't believe she cut off my nose. But then my favorite is Meredith. She's like, okay, I was standing right here and I had a coughing attack and this is what it sounded like.
Well, clearly she's very good at what she does because there's zero sign of recording devices in here. Well, it just makes no sense. It just makes no sense.
Well, say nothing in this environment until you know it's clean. She's like, okay, good thinking. They're listening in.
So now they go to this dinner and Lisa's like, after the craziness of today, I want tonight's dinner to be totally different. So we're dining in elegance with peace and quiet.
I just want to clear up what was thrown out today in the Sprinter van because obviously things went left and Brittany sort of became the topic, but we didn't finish the first argument.
Well, at least we're still dining in elegance. So Andy's like, yeah, I don't really feel like I got to address the conversation that you brought up, Bronwyn. It was messy. It didn't come out clearly. And I don't know if it's weirder that you spun the story or that you said it and that you went running to Lisa with it or that you didn't put Suzuki on top of it before you did that. And you put me and Whitney in a bad position and Heather also because she was sitting there and she is not even Greek.
No, I did not. Lisa and I were trying to clear up what was happening between us, and I didn't say that to her. I didn't say, I'm trying to cause a problem between you and Angie. I didn't run to her with any issue of yours. I just merely said that you said that Lisa was probably the worst person in this group. That's all I said, because you said it. Mm-hmm.
And Bronwyn's like, no, Angie, no. Shaking her head violently.
I let you talk.
Let me talk.
I let Angie talk.
Now.
So let me talk.
Talking now.
Okay. I said my own shit with her first. And I said I was not nice. And I said, I didn't think that you were that supportive. I said it about myself.
But Bronwyn, you did it at my expense. It's like, let me finish. Because whether I meant to be nefarious during our conversation. Wait, what is that? Is that Greek?
Nefarious.
Yeah,
it means evil, conniving. Thank you. I don't have my Google app with me right now.
And Bronwyn just keeps a straight face like these fucking idiots.
Hey, if it feels like you felt guilty about something that was said in that conversation, and then you ran to Lisa to clear it before we had a chance to talk to Lisa about it, you got there first.
No.
That's not fair.
No.
We were going to throw you under the bus, but you threw us under the bus. I don't like that.
Well, it's convenient that you waited. Wait a minute. You waited until we were gone to have that conversation.
And then Angie's like, I do too. But I was like, I don't. It's between Lisa and I. So I wanted a moment with her myself to throw you guys under the bus. It doesn't work the same way if we're all together.
Yeah. So I just went to Lisa and told her that you accused me of lying about Todd's affair.
So then Heather mouths.
And Heather's mouthing two-faced to Whitney. And Whitney's like, yeah.
What does that mean, though? How can you have two faces? Because you only have one head. So Bronwyn is like, I know that they don't appreciate that I went to Lisa, but this has nothing to do with them. This is about Lisa and I getting clear and getting on the same page. And I'm not going to get twisted into thinking that I've done something wrong here. But you did the classic thing, which is like when people break up, is that you went and you complained about someone and they're like, sure, I guess we're going to pile on. And then you go right back to that person and then you reconcile. And the people who pile on look like dicks.
Yep. Yeah. So Meredith's like, well, I have a question that didn't add up to me. And let me tell you, V plus I equals L. They're like, oh, God, here Meredith goes. Well, I've been in this villa for several days now, and I've never heard anything from any adjoining room. A boom, a mic drop, gavel drop, just drop the gavel, get ready for prison.
And let me tell you something about this villa, or should I call it villa? I did not throw up, okay? I was on the phone with my husband crying about slut shaming, and there was no vomiting. I did have a bit of a coughing attack at one point where when I was coughing, liquid came out of my mouth and into a toilet bowl, but that was the extent of it, which is maybe what you heard or not heard, but I find it to be very perplexing that I haven't heard one thing from Heather's room or your room or anyone else's room.
Well, wait, Heather, I just don't even know what you're getting mad about. Like, are you just trying to look for things to be mad at me about? No, I'm sorry. I said mad about me about. I was like, God, mad about you. What a show. What a good show. Glorious.
I auditioned for it. I had great chemistry with Paul Reiser, they said, but unfortunately that bitch Helen Hunt just beat me out. Still don't like her. Won't watch any of her movies.
Well, I'm the only one that's ever supported you. And she goes, until today, until you came after me like a raging beast. Telling everyone false stories about me, and here's why I'm questioning you today, because you chose to record us without our knowledge. And why would I not start to question you if you put something in my room at this point?
Oh my gosh, are you serious? Are you really serious? Yes, I am. And I think it's a reasonable and rational question when I have heard zero anywhere else. And Mary's like, Whitney, can you hear me? Yeah, what do you want? No, in the villa. What about the villa? Can you hear me when we're in the villa? When you talk to me, yes. No, through the walls. What walls? In the villa? Huh?
So answer the question. Did you put a recording device in my room? And she's like, yes or no? That's the most ridiculous thing I've heard. Yes or no? Absolutely no. Very convincing, Brittany. Very convincing. So Mary's like, but there's no benefit of putting a recording device in Meredith's room. I mean, she's so boring. I mean, no offense, but I would fall asleep.
That is absurd. Well, I guess that's enough fun for tonight, right? Yeah, let's go. So they all head back to the villas, and Angie is like, this whole Bronwyn thing is blown out of proportion. Was there anything bad said that day when we had lunch at the table? And Heather's like, not bad, but we just said that they were the only two that, took Todd's side, and there's a million reasons why.
And so we see the flashback of that. And then Meredith is like, well, wait, what can I have done to be more supportive? Well, she said that you blamed her and that you said that she had been guarded and that's what drove her husband to emotional affair. You know, all that stuff. She goes, no, I didn't say that. I asked a question to try to help.
Yeah, I asked a question, and I asked that if it might be a problem, just trying to be helpful. So what was said about me? Oh, well, we said because about tumultuous marriages that you might just might be saying it better be kept. It's better to keep it quiet, and who cares? We just were like, what? She's cheated. She understands. She's sympathetic towards Todd. She's slept around all of Salt Lake City and apparently all of Manhattan, so she's gonna be a little more sympathetic to Todd. Anyway, have a great night. I'm gonna go off to my bed now. Bye.
She goes, wait, better to keep what quiet? She says, emotional affairs, like the ones that you have. I never said that. And so now Meredith is like, wait a minute. So these bitches were talking behind my back. What the hell?
Heather basically is like, Heather's like owning up to what she said, but she's saying it so it was like nothing. And she's like, okay, see you later. She hops out of the golf cart. Like she didn't just drop a bomb on Meredith.
So Meredith, of course, is getting pissed. And she's like, Heather. And Heather's just going through the hall like, no big deal. Nothing to see here. Heather, we were getting out of the car. Did you say Bronwyn did not feel my support because I co-sign emotional affairs? Or did I misunderstand that? And she's like, oh, you totally misunderstood that. I was just saying because you have emotional affairs.
Yes.
You probably understand it better. She's like, wait a minute. What did you say? So, they're all walking down the hallways to get back to their rooms, right?
And Heather's like, guys. Okay, let's deflect away from the truth bomb I just dropped on Meredith. Okay, so guys, before you go to your villa, let's do a little experiment, a little audio testing. And Heather literally tells us, she goes, can we get over the whole emotional affair thing and get back to the real important issue? We have a real conspiracy to uncover. We have bugs to search for. We have audio tests to conduct. We've got to crack this case wide open.
So Meredith's like, well, you can do what you want. I'm more interested in what you said as we were getting out of the golf cart. She's like, no, we're going to do a wacky scene looking for bugs. And Heather's like, I just thought it was projection of having been through infidelity, you know.
That's all.
But there was no infidelity. My husband and I were separated. How dare you?
Why are you yelling at me? Oh my God, there's a recording device. What? Okay, everyone run.
So she's like, why are you yelling at me? And she says, because I don't know who's starting more rumors about me. And she's like, well, it's certainly not me. I mean, we're doing an audio test. It's not a rumor that you cheated on your husband. Everybody already knows that. Move past it.
I'm not interested. I'm going to bed. I've had enough of the lies from everyone. Get your story straight. Treat me with kindness and respect. And Meredith's like, what did you say, Heather? She's like, Heather's like, don't look at me like I didn't say anything. Don't look at me. I didn't say anything except that, you know, you co-sign emotional affairs because you had emotional affairs because you have infidelity. That's all I said, Meredith.
Well, don't tell my story. I don't co-sign on affairs and infidelity. And Mary's like, wait, who are you talking to? Meredith just walks to her room. So she goes into her room and Lisa comes in with her. And Heather's like, you know, I mean, she just lost her mind. She lost her mind. I don't know what to do. So now we cut to Lisa and Meredith in the room and they're standing kind of by the door, you know, like the little corridor by the front door. And all the other girls are listening to this clear as day. And Lisa's like, what happened? Well, what happened is they're all talking shit and I'm not going to let them offend me anymore. And I've had enough. And I offer my own experiences just as a way to give support, which I think to me is a big deal. And I didn't have to open up to anybody. I mean, just like you don't have to open up to anybody. And Mary just goes, no wonder Brittany heard her.
Because you can hear them right in the hallway.
You don't need a damn listening device. Brittany was doing what Whitney is currently doing, which is standing at the door with her ear to it.
You shouldn't open up to anyone in this fucking group. I was honest. I talked about my marital struggles, what it's like to raise a toddler for 22 years, and what has been done. Lisa's like, weapon. Yes, weaponized against me. Buzzword on Bravo this week. Don't bother. Yeah. And the audio test, you think I care about that? We all know exactly what's going on there, and I'm sure she can hear me now, peasants at the door. And everyone's
fucking it up. The whole thing is vile. And she's like, goes to the door, and you just see Whitney running away, like, ah.
It was amazing. It was a great Meredith episode. It's funny because in the beginning of the season, Meredith's storyline was not so present. So people were like, Meredith is barely staying on the show. Is Meredith going to be fired next year? Meredith is not going to be fired. Meredith is an icon. She's amazing. She is one of the pillars of the show, and she will be on as long as this show is on, or she deserves to be.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
This episode is sponsored by Acorns.
Acorns makes it easy to start automatically saving and investing so your money has the chance to grow for you, your kids, and your retirement.
You know, Acorns makes it so easy, and in the new year, that's what I need.
Did you know, Ronnie, that save more money was actually the most popular New Year's resolution in America last year? So, yeah, Acorns is here to help.
You don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you invest with the spare money you've got right now. You can start with $5 or even just your spare change.
And you don't need to be an expert. Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that fits you and your money goals.
Create your Acorns account and start investing in just 5 minutes.
Head to acorns.com/crappens or download the Acorns app to start saving and investing for your future today.
Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 1 compensation provided.
Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/crappens.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.
Turn protecting the planet into your career. Georgetown's 10-month interdisciplinary Master of Science in Environment and Sustainability Management program blends cutting-edge scientific knowledge with essential business principles, equipping you to address the world's most pressing environmental challenges. Learn to tackle today's most urgent environmental problems with a strategic, dual skill set that combines environmental science and business expertise. Ready to make a real impact? Georgetown's Master of Science in Environment and Sustainability Management empowers you to transform your passion for the environment into a meaningful, purpose-driven career. Explore the program at msb.georgetown.edu/ESM-podcast.
Hotels.com knows that planning your book club's annual trip can get chaotic. Self-improvement Steve needs a hotel gym, and Horror Harriet ghosted the group chat about budget. Collaborate, vote on your favorites, and book all in the app. Find your perfect somewhere with Hotels.com.
Well, great episode. So let's move on to Sold on Salt Lake City.
Sold on. So if first of all, if people are not watching this show, it's really good. I think that maybe it was launched at perhaps the wrong time of the year. Maybe it made sense to sort of dovetail this with Salt Lake City while Salt Lake City is really heating up. I think December is a hard time, but we've been watching it. We've thoroughly enjoyed it. We did a full recap on the first 3 episodes on our bonus episodes on Patreon. So where we left off before it had its sort of winter break, its Christmas break, was that there was this party, this Cinco de Mayo party that Malaysia was holding. And Malaysia's friend, who looks like Meghan McCain, was like, guess what? Hey, you know how like all my sisters are strippers, which is really a great way to start any sort of interaction.
I love it.
You know how all my sisters are strippers?
You know how 4 out of 5 of my sisters are strippers?
You know how I come from stripper heritage? Yeah.
I come from a long line of stripping.
She's like, so my sister, she says Matt has been like coming into the club for years and is like obsessed with her, but he basically told her he's gonna have to stop seeing her because the show is starting up, and once the show airs, everyone's gonna know who he is. So we can't be seen.
Babe, they're gonna know who you are anyway. You're a regular at the strip club, you dummy. So
yes, exactly.
So first off, this was kind of good because Matt's such a little shit on the show. We call him Squish Face. And little Squish Face is such a undermining piece of crap on this show. He's horrible. And the first second this show came on, I said, that guy's cheating. Thank you. Thank you very much. He's just got cheating face. He's got cheating eyes.
He does.
Little squishy face cheating eyes. And of course he was. And it sounds like they try to make this sound like it was just going to strippers, but the girls were like, well, he came to see me. So this is what I don't understand for the stripper point of view is they said he kept coming to see me. And then when he stopped seeing me, he was seeing my sister. Well, does that mean he's fucking you and you guys are hookers? Or does this mean that he was just coming in to get private lap dances from you? Or was he seeing you outside of the club? Like, what's going on?
I'm just going to say that based on what happens later in the episode, what he says, I'm going to say there was some of that, back room, the champagne activity.
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. Whatever that may entail, I'm not sure, but I think there was probably some champagne room.
So this leads to a couple of questionable things that just happen on the show because it's reality TV and reality TV is messy. And obviously the stripper sister shows up to start some shit to be on TV, wears a bright green dress so everybody can call her the girl in the green dress, and she becomes a thing on the show, right? So it worked for her. I can see where she's coming from and doing it. But then Malaysia's left with this, like, well, shit, now she's told me and she's told me on camera. So what am I supposed to do about it? Do I tell him? And at first it seems like she's going to kind of do, because it's not just him. I don't think that the problem is outing Matt. Fuck that guy. The problem is what it's going to do to the wife and kids to have this outed on national TV when you live in Utah. Right. So it becomes this big moral dilemma. It's like, what is this girl going to do with this information?
So Malaysia's wondering, and I think that like a proper reality show is she sits with this information for about 2 or 3 episodes. She talks with everyone else about it. What do I say? What do I do? It builds up to finally confrontation. But I don't know, maybe they just don't have enough of an episode order to have that, to waste that time. So clearly a producer was in her ear saying, you should probably talk to Matt about this. You should probably talk to Matt. You should probably talk to Matt. Talk to Matt. Talk to Swishface. So she goes up to him.
Well, she doesn't really at first. First, she
because
the Portuguese girl. Right, she's Portuguese, right?
Actually, was it? Did she?
How dare you call me? How dare you call me sugar baby or whatever?
Yeah, she's like Shakira and Kate McKinnon.
Yes.
What? Wait, I have a question. Did she? I was confused about this. Did she text her, or did she text Chris, or is it that like Meghan McCain talked to Chris and then Chris told the?
No,
told
she texted. She texted the wife. She texted the Russian chick or I don't remember, the Eastern European chick. And she texted her and was like, oh my God, you won't believe what's going on. Right. She texted somebody else about it to where they're like,
it was very
God.
quick.
Yes. So she's like, what am I going to do? I just got this information. But nobody really knows what the information is. And she starts going around the party. And also, she's kind of drunk now. She's had a lot of tequila shots. Right. So she's like, oh, my God, what do I do? So finally, they're like, oh, my God. And meanwhile, the wife senses some bullshit and she's out of there. I don't know if she knew this was going on. The wife was like, this feels really weird and really dark. I don't like this. I have a stomach ache. Can we go home? He's like, why don't you go lay down in the car? So that shows you what kind of asshole he is. Just go fucking lay down in the car, babe.
Yeah, leave with your wife. Go home. Take care of her.
Exactly.
To be fair, she was also very unhappy with the churro temperatures. She was like, these churros are cold. They're supposed to be warm. So she goes off to the car to lay down because this piece of shit won't. I mean, could you even imagine? So he's there. And so Malaysia at first was not going to say anything to Matt because the wife is there. And she's like, I'm not going to cross that line. But when she's talking to Matt a little bit later, she discovers that the wife, her name's Nicole, right? Is her name Nicole? She has Nicole energy. Whatever the wife's name is.
I just call her eyelashes because those eyelashes, they're like cut off thumbnails that she's glued to her eyes.
I know.
They're so weird. So you need to get eyelashes that fit you. That you're like wearing a child's eyelashes on top of adult eyelashes. It looks cray cray. Get proper eyelashes.
Her name is Nicole. So Nicole has actually driven home because she's like, she probably realized, why the fuck am I lying down in this car? I'm just going to drive home. Shit.
Well, when she got into the car, you saw her press on the brakes, which, I mean, I guess you could do while you're getting comfortable in the car, but I was like, no, that's what you do when you're ready to put the car in.
She's like, I'll lie down in the car in our own driveway. So when Malaysia finds out that Nicole's not there anymore, Malaysia just kind of, she does this weird thing where they're talking about like, you've been a dog. I've heard you've been a dog. He's like, what are you talking about? Come on, man. What are you talking about? She's like, you know what I know. He's like, what are you talking about? Listen, dude, you know you're holding onto a scandal and you're on reality TV and these things always come to the surface. And the fact that he should have just said, I think I know. He should have just said, I think I know what you're talking about. And I think you've got it completely wrong, but we'll discuss that later. But instead he does the most guilty thing of all time, which is that when she finally like whispers in his ear, like, I know, he's like, or no, she doesn't even whisper. She just says, She's just like, don't make me say it. She's like, this is a bad position for me to be in, basically. Don't make me say this. Like, you know what is going on. I want you to just say it. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. But he does know the stripper sister's there. So he does know that something's coming. I wonder if he realizes that she is related, because then she finally has to say, well, you know how like the green dress girl who looks like Meghan McCain, you know how she comes from a family of dancers? He's like, huh? Dancers. He's like, huh? Dancers. And then he's like,
I'm out. He's like, bye. It's like, see ya. And so he gets out and he's pissed basically at production because they're about to ruin his marriage on TV, which, I mean, I guess I understand that fight or flight response, but you're caught. You're caught, buddy, and I'm not going to feel for you. And surely no one on this show, especially the women, are going to start feeling for the man. Please.
No. And
surely the patriarchy is not going to take over on this show. Surely not. This is a show about girl power, and it's run by a girl, and she's going to totally have the girls back.
By the way, this idiot, how does he not have an excuse ready to go on just in case his secret comes out? How does he not how is he just not prepared? Like he that just shows that kind of like, bro, it's not just like idiocy. It's like that privilege or that like that cockiness of like, no, everything works for me. Like,
well, it's also the innocence of not having been on reality TV and thinking like, I'm going to go project this image and nobody's going to bring me down. I'm not going to act immature. And when this lady is accusing me of trying to bring down her relationship, I'm just going to gaslight it and make it seem like she's crazy. And I'm going to, he thinks he can control it. It happens to every season winner, poor thing.
Yes. So he leaves, and then the what's the short guy's name again? Kenny. He's like, God, dude, where are you going? Where? He's like, no. He's like, I'm not gonna talk to you unless your mic is off. Not unless your mic is off. So he storms off, and then you have Jen Yo, who is in a Frida Kahlo like headdress, and is it a Frida Kahlo or is it just?
I don't know.
Because she was like, look at the. Either way,
but I know the headdress. I was like, I don't know. You guys are still getting away with things in that town that you don't in others, but you go, girl. And so she's wearing that, and so she finds out that this is going on because it's become this huge drama. And she's like, "Wait a minute, what? I don't believe it. Matt would never do something like he's Matt. He's just a gorgeous person who fails at everything, but still somehow is given everything he wants. I just don't believe he would do this."
Yeah. She's like, no, I really don't. No. And so now she's like mad at Malaysia. And then Tina comes over and she's like, yeah, that sucks. But now you see how like a rumor can actually really like can be really devastating. And like, honestly, he did it to me. So I honestly just don't feel bad. And
Tina's rubbing her hands. She loves this. She loves that this has happened. She's like gleeful that this happened to Matt, which is, okay, but it's also kind of tasteless. I mean, at the moment, like it just happened, his wife is going to be fucked, and she's like, good. So Jennifer gets mad at her, and then she gets mad at Malaysia for doing it on camera. Basically, she doesn't say that, but the implication is like, why would you do this on camera to somebody? Like Matt is, we're on the same team. So I mean, now she's pissed.
He is Matt is our highest earning realtor who has brought in $50 or less to this company. Okay. In the $50 and under tier, he is our highest earner. How could you do this to him?
That's a big deal. So she's decided that no matter what, she's going to believe Matt and stick with Matt, because poor Matt, which really disappointed me with Jen. And it led to kind of an interesting conversation, I guess, with the audience that she had, where she was explaining, what Matt did. I know that it seems like horrible or whatever, especially to people in Utah, like that's like the worst sin, but that growing up LDS has so much shame attached to it that people act in crazy ways because they're rebelling against that shame, or they have to. It's almost like you get used to leading a double life because every sin could send you to hell. So you're just like, I'm not a sinner. And so you build up this whole, and I get it, being raised in an extremely religious way, all the shame that comes with that. And I kind of understood what she was saying in an odd way. I got it, where she's like, sure, he was doing bad things, but you have to understand he was brought up in such a shameful way that it killed him inside until he started acting out in this way. Which, when she explained it like that, I kind of got it. But at the same time, everyone else was raised that way, and they're not fucking strippers behind their wife's back and lying about it. I have no pity for this fucking guy. And you're not going to make me have pity just because he suffered shame. We all suffer shit in our lives. It doesn't give us an excuse to do the kind of shit that he just did. It's not cool.
It explains it. It doesn't excuse it. But I think she was excusing it. And so then we go, but then Matt has his whole, he has his whole thing, which is, so after the fallout of this party, then Matt is like talking, the producers are asking him about like the relationship. And he said it went on for like 10 years. And he goes, there'd be some years, sometimes I'd see her like twice a month, and then I'd have a year without going. I'm like, but 10 years? And then he would say, and I think what's also fucked up is not that he went to a strip club, but it's like he developed a relationship with the stripper on some level, even if it wasn't even physical, there was someone that he went to that was like giving him, it wasn't just like looking at naked bodies. It was like he really connected with someone there. So he's like, here's the thing, like growing up, I never had friends, and I would go into the closet and I would scream in the closet. he has this whole story about the reason why he went to the strip club is he didn't have friends growing up, and he would cry.
Well, he was talking about being an extremely insecure person and being raised with so much shame, and he never fit in with anybody, and he couldn't make friends, and he would lock himself in the closet and just berate himself with all the negativity that he was feeling. And I mean, it was actually a really sad story.
It's sad.
I felt bad for him because I was like, oh, like hot people have trouble too. Like maybe he wasn't always working out this much, you know, and he was like had insecurities. I mean, I kind of felt bad for him, but then I had to keep reminding myself, don't fall for it. This is a manipulating man who's now manipulating everybody. He's sewing his victim cloak, and he's sewing it very thick and heavy for himself. And he's wearing that so we can't say shit about him. Well, I'm sorry, sir. That's not going to work. Okay. I'm burning your victim cloak. It is out.
You're an adult now. You're an adult now, and it's called therapy.
Also, here's another thing I wanted to ask you. Do you think that his wife knows? Because I think his wife knows, and she's keeping it
way too chill.
I think she's known all along, but it's one of those like, well, it's a strip club. It's not the best, but you know, I get that he's a man and men have needs, and at least it's just a strip club and it's not an affair. And as long as he doesn't get caught or embarrass our family, then it's fine, because she talks about how divorce is just something you don't do. And this is, you stay with each other no matter what. And Malaysia has a whole thing where she's like, once you're married, that's not only your husband here, that's your husband in the afterlife and on your own little planet that you get when you're Mormon, and like you guys stay with each other forever. And so I think that the wife knew, and I think when the wife saw that girl there, she knew what was about to happen, and she's like, I'm fucking out of here. You guys aren't using me for this. Like, you've humiliated me enough. You're not going to get me to sit here and scream at some stripper sister on camera. Sorry.
I think that's a fairly strong conspiracy theory, because what happens is, so Matt tells this whole sob story, which, like you said, the story itself is sad, but if I'm not going to let Brittany Bateman off the hook, I'm not going to let this guy off the hook. Okay. Like like we know, you can give me a sob story, and you know, I always fall for a sob story, but like, I'm not going to fall for this one. It has nothing to do, or like, you can't really tell me that you can't blame 10 years of going to the strip club, knowing that it's like a violation of the relationship that he has developed with his wife, on his childhood trauma in this way. I'm sorry. I just don't think that's fair to her. So then, and by the way, when they asked him about this relationship and they're like, has there been kissing? He goes, nah, I'm not going to go there. Well, that would be the easiest no. So that's clearly a yes. It wasn't just you're going to strip club. You made out with this stripper at least once, if not multiple times. So that's fucked up. So then,
which is weird that and it got me thinking, but why is he not lying? Because he's lied this whole time. Why is he not lying? Like, who cares? Who's going to prove him wrong? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like he has that kind of thing where he's getting the punishment, and that's like another kink. You know, where he's like getting caught. He's doing something bad and he's getting caught. And that's another thing. And so he's just going to keep like, well, it's like he's confessing to get in more trouble. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you see it a lot of times with people when they get caught on purpose. You know what I mean? Or they're leaving little hints around so that they finally get caught. I don't know if it's because they'll feel relieved that they're not carrying the burden around. Like, I don't know what it is, but you see it a lot with people doing shit like this.
So Matt and Nicole sit on the bed to have a talk, and she's like, because this is an emotionally raw moment, I'm not going to put on any makeup except the darkest mascara I can find. So they sit there, and Matt is like, he's like, I know, like, we just worked hard to get back to a place of like trust, and I've ruined it, and I'm like really sorry. And he starts to do like the sob thing, and she's like, well, what I learned, aside from the fact that there are monsters in the world that would serve cold churros, is that I can stand on my own 2 feet now, because I went to an MLM conference and a lady hugged me. And now I know
I've got enough protein in my system now every morning that I can stand tall.
Because guess what? Not only can you pack your bags and go, and I don't have to pack my bags because I've got Go-Gurt. That's right. I'm now selling Go-Gurt 5 for 1, or you can have a monthly plan. I'm going to Go-Gurt MLM. I forgot to tell you that. Anyway, I can support myself now. I don't need you.
But I am probiotics.
And then she tells us, and you know, I actually have liked Nicole, but then she tells us, you know, I mean, stripping is not illegal. I wish it were. I don't think that women should be able to sell their bodies for money, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm like, excuse you. People can do whatever they want with their fucking bodies. So then,
of course,
then she's like, Because then she's like, well, why wouldn't you have
And
told me?
if there weren't men like your husbands, there would be no need to sell their bodies. There would be no market for it. So please, let's keep the guilt in the house. Okay, ma'am.
So then she's like, I just wish you would have spoken to me about it, about like what you were going through. I wish you would have come to me. He's like, I didn't. And she goes, you didn't want to. He goes, it was the fear. It was the fear because of it. I didn't want to come to you. And she's like, listen.
Well, yeah. And also, who's going to come and be like, hey, honey, I'm going to strip clubs and having emotional affairs with strippers at the very least. Okay. How was your day?
Through it?
You don't want to stop doing it. That's why I didn't tell you.
He was like, I thought I could fix it by myself. And she goes, that is like what Satan always does. He like puts terrible thoughts into your head and makes you think that you can take care of it yourself, but you can't. You have to tell your wife.
Yeah. Satan hates teamwork.
You know, the only thing worse than teamwork, strippers. Satan loves strippers.
Yeah.
So basically, we don't really know where they.
Here's the thing, though, with all of her, I don't need you. I can stand on my own 2 feet. I'm like, you are not leaving this man. So cut the platitudes. I can just tell she's not going to leave this man. And I almost, and you have to have sympathy for that too, because they've got how many 4 kids or something. It's like, yeah, she's like, what the fuck?
I don't think,
I
don't even think she was saying she was going to leave. I think she was just saying like,
I could.
Like, this is your warning, because guess what? I could do it on my own, but
right.
Like, you know,
like, well,
we don't know.
Your trust back. It's so hard. Oh, it just made me hate him that he's sitting there crying, making it about himself when he just did this. So this guy's a total piece of shit, right? So I thought, well, at least he's kicked down, and now there's going to be a little humility added to the mix, because this guy's plainly an asshole. Nope. Sure enough, Jen Yo calls everybody into the office for a meeting. They all get this text, and it's basically like, okay, everybody, we need to go because of something that transpired at Cinco de Mayo. And we're going to talk about this, how we've disrespected a male in our office.
And the full C-suite is there. So it's not just Jen. It's also like her CFO and some guy wearing an American flag tie. So they hand out this like code of ethics. And she's like, Kenny, no, she goes, could someone please read Code of Ethics bullet point 51B, C? And everyone raises their hand. She goes, Kenny, you read it. And so he reads it. It's like, thou shalt. He's like, thou shalt not talk about strippers that Matt has seen, or whatever it was. It was like,
yeah, it was basically like, we cannot, she's basically accusing them. The way it was worded was like, you're purposely bringing something up on camera against someone in our firm that's going to make the firm look bad. So you guys shouldn't be bringing stuff up that's going to make the firm look bad. Well, he shouldn't be doing it. I mean, listen,
he shouldn't be doing it.
And also they didn't bring it up on camera. The stripper sister did. So where's she in this meeting? That's who you need to be having a meeting with. And also at the end of the day, it's Matt who did this. So sorry, where's the rule against like, hey guys, we live in Utah, and if we're going to keep a decent relationship here, we can't be fucking around on our wives with strippers and getting caught. Yeah. So we need to stop getting caught. We need to stop doing the behavior. I mean, I wouldn't love that either, because it's none of your fucking business what people do outside the office, but you can't blame other people's reaction to his sin and get mad at the sinner. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, I understand from a leadership point of view, you want to gather everyone together and say, look, we are a team and we have to have each other's backs, because the moment we have discord, that's going to be bad for the business. We have but the problem is, as what's her face mentions, I forgot her name, the Brazilian girl. She's like, yeah, Brazilian, except that like a year ago, what'd you say?
Brazilian. Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Yeah. She was like, by the way, a year ago, I was basically slut shamed for all sorts of stuff. And then Tina's like, yeah, and I was also the victim of rumors. And like, it would have been nice if this meeting had been held then. So it's like
you're only standing up
like
for
there was a total double standard. And he's sitting back there and he's smirking. Matt is just like smirking. Like,
he's smirking.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, and also just to expand on what you just said, that girl was saying, I was slut shamed a year ago. Matt went to my clients and people and was telling them that I was just some gold digger. You know, I was just some girl sleeping with a rich guy, which we hadn't heard yet.
Right.
And so that was one. And she's like, nobody cared about that.
She didn't bring it up. She let it slide because she didn't want to cause waves.
Yeah. She's like, so we're only standing up for the men here. And Matt's just like, well, it's not that it's not about me, guys. It's clearly about you. The rule is worded to be what happened around it. The party was even mentioned, sir, and you were the only drama there. It's clearly about you. Fuck off. Why are you even talking right now? So he's like, well, guys, she's right. And then she's basically taken aback that the women have just called her out, but she's sticking to her guns. And she goes, I'm just talking about everybody, guys. So we all have to be aware of this stuff. No. You're sticking up for the wrong person. And if anybody's ruining your company, it's you with this bad, stupid, anti-women decision making. Shame on you. But her whole thing is basically like, listen, if we're doing business in Utah, we can't be known as people who are going to start shaming men who are going to strip clubs, because I guarantee you 80% of men are doing something wrong. Like, let's face it, we've all known a man in our life, and we can't go around tattletaling on men when we need them to buy our shit. Just say that. You know what I mean? If you're gonna be that lame about it, just say it.
And I think that Tina has a great point when she says, I don't understand that, like, when it comes to Matt, she's like, Jen is in complete like protection mode, but when it comes to like any of us, it's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. So,
because Matt is the epitome of Utah perfection. He is youngish. He's got 4 children, a perfect little blonde wife. He's a little blonde guy, and he's like perfect. He's like the perfect thing that they look up to and that they all want to be. So to ruin that reputation of him, or that image of him, hurts the company, because now he's just going to be known as a dirtbag instead of like that vision of perfection. I think that's the only reason she keeps him on and puffs him up like that. It's like, he may not be the best, but he's what everybody strives to be in this town.
He's like not selling houses. He's not getting listings. He's just failing upwards. And it's just like sad, because it's frustrating, because you actually know there's like a lot of people like this across the country in all sorts of industries who fail upwards because they have the same sort of protections that other people just don't have, which is annoying.
About it. There's
one, but that's right basically
there. There's one right there on the couch.
Bueller's one failed upwards onto the sofa.
Look at
there was some other little stuff
Bueller on the is doing right now. Like,
there was some other little stuff on the episode. Like Lisa Barlow came in and she's like, I want to buy in Blizzard Canyon or whatever. Cause she's like, Bieber's there. DiCaprio's there. Barlow's need to be there. And then, the other, they were doing some, like Kenny decided that he wanted to do a video where he's like, guys, we're going to celebrate houses being cheaper. And he throws a cake on the floor. I was like, excuse me.
Prices are dropping. So he drops a cake.
Don't splatter a cake on your listing. And then,
and he's like, and people love action. And that's why this video is going to do well on TikTok. Like, wow, you really nailed it.
There was something with the Brazilian girl and her mom, and I forget what it was, but it made me laugh. So if you guys laughed at something with that was probably what it was. And then, and then there was also, I think the last thing that struck me was that Malaysia at one point, like, I think it was Malaysia or Tina, they went to a house listing, and there was a climbing wall in this house. I'm sorry. I think that's a terrible idea. Do not have climbing walls in your house.
No shit. No crap. As someone who's like actually fainted in my home a couple weeks ago onto a step stool, like, that's not fun. I can't imagine. I was like, oh my God, what if I had a fucking climbing wall? That would be terrible.
Yeah. I think it's always scary when people have saunas in their home.
But it did make me want to move to Utah in a way, because the guys have so much shame and they're hot, which, is my kink. And also they have houses like that for $1.5 million. That's how much that house cost. That is crazy. That was an amazingly humongous house.
Like a house that has so much extra space that you can have a giant room the size of like a school gym that's tall enough to have a tall ass climbing. Oh my God. Now I know why the Utah market is exploding. Okay. We're moving to Utah.
Yeah. Well, everybody, thanks for being here. It's going to be interesting to see on Sold on SLC, all the reactions, because it looks like the other girls are like, fuck this, I quit. Which I hope they do, because that's bullshit.
Go back to
standing up for that. Yeah, to like victimize the women after he did something, she should have just left this alone and had a talk with Matt about getting his shit together. That was a dumb.
Yeah, that's what it should have been. And then she could have had like a little thing like, let's all come together It could have been like Matt, you were saying rumors about Tina. Malaysia, you were spreading rumors about Matt. Like, there's a lot of rumors going back and forth, and we all just need to move forward. Let's do a reset. Like, not be like, guys, let's rally around Matt or whatever. And she denied that she was rallying around Matt, but she basically was. So
she was 100%.
You guys should all watch the show. It's so good. And we are going to SLC. So if there are people listening from SLC who are watching both of these shows we talked to today, come see us when we return to Salt Lake City for a show in about, about a month or so. So we can't wait. And we'll catch you on the next episode of Crappins. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Watch What Crappins would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Our way is the Amber way.
It's always automatic with Ashley Auto.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Put your hands together for Carly Clapp.
Catherine DiBernardo has our hardo.
Get on the right foot with Chrissy Offutt.
Dana C. Dana Do.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Etchels.
Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas. Jamie, she has no last namey. You'll never hide from Heidi Eleanor Jones.
I go, you go, we all go for Hugo.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know Your Worth with Jason Kurth.
We could all learn from Jennifer Kearns.
She's our kind of mess. It's Jennifer Messer.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
Knock, knock, knocking on Katie Mannock's door.
She's our favorite streamer, Caroline Peacock.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Get a bee in your bonnet with Lacey B.
Bringing the funk, it's Leslie Plunkett.
She gets a name from us. It's Lindsay D.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino.
Fresh as a daisy, it's Maisie McHenry. We love her on the rocks. It's Melissa Cox.
Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
This is Living with Michelle Vivian.
I love ya, Olivia Williamson. Tastier than Flanderson, it's Rachel Manderson.
Have a heck of a time with Rebecca.
She sure is swell. It's Raquel.
Yes, we canna, it's Savannah.
Cast a spell with Shannon Spellman. The Bay Area Betches. Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
She's VVIP, it's Amanda V.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
She's got a leg up. It's Beth Ani.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva. Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. We got our wish. It's Jen Plish.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender.
We're ride or die for Lisa Ryder Barron.
She's a whiz. It's Liz Sarthy.
Always killing it. It's Lola Alkalani.
The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
She eases our woes, it's Melissa St. Rose.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Put on a kettle for Rebecca Weddle.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
If you like Watch What Crappens, you can listen ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
At Hotels.com, we know some travelers crave sand between their toes. Others want to be poolside with a drink on the way. And more often than not, those two people end up in a relationship. With the Hotels.com app, compare properties side by side across amenities like pool and ocean view. Compromise isn't so bad when you're holding a Mai Tai by a pool with an ocean view, agreeing that, yeah, this is better than finding sand in awkward places for 3 days. Book now in the Hotels.com app and find your perfect somewhere.
Hello, ladies and gerbs, boys and girls. The Grinch is back again to ruin your Christmas season with 'Tis the Grinch Holiday Podcast. After last year, he's learned a thing or two about hosting, and he's ready to rant against Christmas cheer and roast his celebrity guests like chestnuts on an open fire. You can listen with the whole family as guest stars like John Hamm, Brittany Broski, and Danny DeVito try to persuade the mean old Grinch that there's a lot to love about the insufferable holiday season. But that's not all. Somebody stole all the children of Whoville's letters to Santa, and everybody thinks the Grinch is responsible. It's a real Whoville whodunit. Can Cindy Lou and Max help clear the Grinch's name? Grab your hot cocoa and cozy slippers to find out. Follow Tis the Grinch Holiday Podcast on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. Unlock weekly Christmas mystery bonus content and listen to every episode ad-free by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.